Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome to the Where's Shmee US Edition Tour, taking me from here in Miami, Florida, all the way coast to coast across the United States of America. We're setting off for a month or two on the road in my new Shelby GT500 to cover a journey of over 5,000 miles, going through 13 states or more as we go north from Florida towards Atlanta, across through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana into Texas, then we'll weave up through Kansas, across through Colorado, Utah, down through Nevada, Arizona and into California. I'm going to bring you behind the scenes, a movie if you will, of the journey that is ahead. At the moment, we have about 300 miles on the clock. That will be over 5,000 when we arrive at the other end, but we're setting off from here. Besides the famous Ocean Drive in Miami, just there was the start point of the 2014 Gumball 3000, and now it marks the start point for this epic adventure ahead. There is so much planned with this car, from drag races to track days, to collabs with people, to filming collections, to all sorts of different things. The only question is, will the original rear tyres survive and make it all the way? We're going to have to wait and see. There's a lot ahead. I am buzzing for what's in store. This has been a long time coming, a lot of planning, but to be here now with the GT500 as well, another Ford for a tour around the United States. Let's do this today, heading up towards Daytona Beach, about 300 miles on the road. It's going to be crazy, I know, and I'm going to bring you behind the scenes for everything that's happening. How about that then for a view of Miami? Lost almost in the clouds, the skyscrapers and the gigantic cruise ships, a lineup of cruise ships from Royal Caribbean to Carnival. We have like 5 or 6 different ships all lined up here in the harbour. Fun fact for you, that first ship is Mariner of the Seas. I've actually been on Mariner of the Seas, but probably about 10 years ago, about a decade ago. That's kind of cool to see it there again. This seems to be something that happens all too often. You're in an express lane and you need to take the exit on the far right and you can't get out and you're kind of stuck, and it obviously starts pouring with rain again. This weather is just crazy today. I don't think we're going to be able to take the intended exit over there. No, we are probably going straight on past. Wonderful. Today's checkpoint at the incredible storage facility of K2 Motorcars. Just take a quick look around here. We've got the battle of Ford versus Ferrari, the Ford GT40 that raced in the 1966 race at Le Mans 24 hours. We've got a 275 GTB Competizione. We've got a 250 California Spider sitting amongst supercars, muscle cars, classics, and all sorts. For example, the pair of Pagani Huayras, the beautiful restored 300 SL Gullwing, DB5 Volante, more 60s Ferraris. This is the most incredible place. Kennedy Space Center, home to some very fast cars out on the runway. Day one down, we've made it to Daytona Beach. The car now has 619 miles, which means we've got a touch over 300 today. And yes, it's as inefficient as we thought it was going to be. Let's have a rest though, big day tomorrow. Here we go. The tide is quickly coming in. There is big significance behind this place. Driving on the sand at Daytona Beach. How cool is this checkpoint, bringing the car to the legendary Daytona Beach? This is actually a two-way toll road. Normally it would be a little bit busier, but the tides are quickly rising. It is very cold and windy as well, as you can probably hear, so we need to get a move on quite quickly. But back in 1929, a world land speed record was set here at 231 miles an hour through the 30s, the 40s and the 50s. Lots of racing was done here before they moved over to the Daytona Speedway in 1959. And actually the racing here started NASCAR as well. And now we've come to visit with the GT500, an absolutely spectacular opportunity, even if it's super chilly. Anyway, we need to hop back in the car and continue onwards from here. Check that out then, the grandstands of the Daytona International Speedway, home to the Daytona 500. Those are some huge stands actually. And I also got to do the really nerdy thing of bringing my Daytona here to Daytona. These watches are famous because they're given to the winners of the Daytona race, and finally mine has come to visit. I wanted to do that on the Ford GT Tour. It's waited now though until we're back with the GT500. Unfortunately, the weather is up to its tricks again, but I'm now here in Jacksonville, Florida to visit the Brumos collection and their most extraordinary museum. From cars that are over 100 years old through to their racing Porsches and even Daytona winners. And then afterwards, that, I think we might even take out the Keen Project 911 Safari that's behind me, which should be quite fun as well. But let's head inside to the museum and let's take a look around. This is a delight of a checkpoint here at the Brumos Collection in Jacksonville, Florida. We have stumbled upon something incredible. Everything here from the Bugatti Type 35 through early 1900 Peugeots to the display of Millers and even a lineup of the Brumos Racing Porsches as well. Let me come on through to show you this. What an amazing place to have stopped to visit. Here in their new museum, the 917s, the 962, 918 Spider, the line of 911s, many of their cars that have competed, and some very special cars also over in the workshop. This is quite the museum. I feel like I'm slightly cheating on the GT500 having swapped cars for the moment, but we are heading, I've just been told, to a little bit of off-road. Holy moly moly. Things are getting really wet here. Well, this isn't what I thought I was going to do today. He says, where's the wiper? We need to run that. There we go. Okay, that doesn't do too much. What can I say? That was epic, but for now, we're swapping back into the GT500 to continue a long slog through the evening, taking this car up to Atlanta. Departing from Florida. Thank you for visiting Florida. Next to the flashing lights of the police car, welcome to Georgia, the second state of our trip. Welcome to Georgia. A lot of the same adverts. Yeah, everywhere. You can't miss it. Take a listen to that. If I put the window down, I think his exhaust is broken. That doesn't sound right for just cruising speed. 999.8 miles, 999.9 miles, and 1,000. I'm here at the VinWiki garage where I came to visit with my Ford GT, back this time with the GT500, but today it is delivery day of Ed's new to him flood damaged Ferrari 599 GTB. Hey Ed, how's it going?
Welcome back.
Thank you, good to be back.
Glad to have you. It's a few things have changed since the last time you were here.
That's for sure. Garage is looking very, very nice.
Thank you very much. The guys from Obsessed Garage came through, new flooring, lights, cabinets, air compressor, pressure washer, all the things. And a couple of new cars as well since you've been here last.
And talking of license plates, I have something for you here inside the GT500. This is quite the story.
Yes! Oh my goodness, all the discussions that we've had about this particular number plate. And yes,
as he moves it out onto the back edge, I always get a little bit anxious when cars go onto these things.
Yeah, I've seen them fall off. I tried to buy a Saline S7 once that had fallen off the back of the truck.
That's so you. I'm not even surprised.
It was not repaired well.
Congrats on the addition.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your help picking it up. I've never had a car pickup delivery video before. Ever.
Really?
No, this is the first.
It's the first? Brilliant. Yeah. Today's visit in Atlanta is to Merit Partners, where we're going to be taking out the Carrera GTs, joined by a number of others to go for a drive. And yes, there's a Burgundy 918 Spider, Ferrari F40, Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato continuation, Mercy SV, in fact the same SV that I drove before, but today is all about the Carrera GTs. Just that view in front of us right now. The squadron of Carrera GTs taking over the Atlanta highway. That sound. And this sound too. Oh, the torque. Oh, this car is just a dream, and the line of cars in front as well. It's rollout time. And that was not very friendly of you. I was standing right behind. Or you, sorry. Well, it goes without saying, that was a fantastic day. 6 Carrera GTs out on the roads together. The 2 cars now parked back up here in the epic company at Merit Partners. What a fantastic day out. What an amazing car. What an incredible drive. And make no secret, this is one of my ultimate dream cars. Thankfully, the weather stayed on side, but now it's time to head back to the GT500 to get back on the roads, on to the next stop. One thing that we can't control, though, is the stop-start traffic on the way out of Atlanta. We're heading next to Huntsville, Alabama, into our third state of the tour. But I think given we're leaving in the late afternoon, we're going to have a bit of traffic along the way. One of the things that you really notice and experience when you're heading across the United States, especially now with the really low afternoon sun, is how much the scenery and terrain changes as you go. From the flatlands in Florida to now the meandering, slightly hillier roads through the trees that we have as we approach towards Alabama. But obviously this car has now done about 1,300 miles, so we can pop it in using the mode selector down here into the sportier driving mode. I've got my mode configured as well on the selection. We can go manual and we can start to enjoy a little bit more of this. They recommend you do an oil change before you give it a full load with this kind of driving. Or sustained full load, I should say. For driving here though. When in America, what is that? I don't even know. That's mad. That is one of the most unusual things I have ever seen. They're waving at that. I don't even know what we're looking at. I literally don't even know. And here we go. Sweet home, Alabama. The third state of our tour. Florida, Georgia, Alabama. The third of about 13, maybe even more, as we continue our way through. What a sunset here. As we're going to be crossing, I think, over the Tennessee River. Beautiful evening drive. That is quite the view. When you have a level crossing on a 75-mile-an-hour road, it's all good. I'm not worried about whether that makes any sense to do or not. It's a beautiful day, but we're actually heading right now into Tennessee, our fourth state of the tour. Tennessee state line. You can see it is a snowy day, which is not always the best, but we're heading to visit a private collection and some pretty epic cars to drive. To meet up with 458 Destroyer, who has recently bought this stunning Ferrari LaFerrari. Today we are going out for a drive. I am going to take the wheel of this, the LaFerrari, and we will be joined as well by the 458 Destroyer, the Liberty Walk 458 Italia, the 458 Speciale, the 812 Superfast, and I think some of the other cars from the collection as well, for a drive out in the snow here today. And this car is actually Rosso F1 2007, this multi-layered pearlescent metallic red paint as opposed to the standard Ferrari Rosso Corsa, and out of the 499 or plus one 500 LaFerraris, it's one of only 50 that has the carbon fiber roof, and we think even the only satin carbon fibered roof car in the US potentially as well. But let's come back to that in a moment. Firstly, look at what is back here. Well, this happened fast. I find myself at the wheel of a LaFerrari on a twisty road in the snow, chasing 458 Destroyer and the Liberty Walk wide body 458. Absolutely mad. Now, if you know anything about me, you probably know how much I like this car, and you probably could have guessed that I was going to seize the opportunity to take the LFA for a drive on some fantastic roads. As we come out into the sunshine here. Oh, it's so cold. And when you drive it, just awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Our route today back in Alabama has brought us down the highway here that comes right by the Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Rocket City, where the Saturn V was designed and engineered before the flight up to the moon. Something a little bit different, quite cool to stop and take a look at. I'm going for a drive in a car that needs very little by way of an introduction, the XDDE Tire Slayer. It probably goes without saying that that was an epic drive in the XDDE Hurricane Tire Slayer. That thing needs you to be on your A game. It is quite a handful, but an awesome couple of days with 458 Destroyer, driving the Hurricane, also driving the LFA and the LaFerrari in convoy. Awesome fun. But for now, it is time to head on from Alabama and Tennessee onwards towards our next stop, heading through to Mississippi. It turns out there's another rocket as well. We just come back into Alabama and yeah, in a random rest area. That's a nice view, beautiful sunset. Long drive ahead though. Unfortunately, because it's dark, absolutely nothing to show you, but we've just gone past the major Mercedes Tuscaloosa plant, which is where they make the GLSs and things, for example. And on here, on the nav, is this whole area. Mercedes main gate, Mercedes drive, whole lot of Mercedes going on. We've got a couple of hours of cruising. We head then from Alabama into Mississippi, the 5th state of the tour. Welcome to Jackson, Mississippi. Good morning, I'm riding shotgun today as we cross the Mississippi River, heading into our 6th state, Louisiana state line. Onwards today. We're making a quick checkpoint today then to come and visit Gavin from It's Just a Six. I put out a shout out on social media about where I should go on this tour, and everybody said I should come visit these guys, so here we are. How's it going?
Wow,
how you doing?
It's beautiful. What a gorgeous car.
Let me step out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Pleasure. Thank you for having your cars out in the sunshine. The ZL1, your insane GT350.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, you said that you hadn't driven very many Camaros at all, and this is the perfect one to start on. This is Chevy's cream of the crop, if you will.
It is always fun when you're driving a car that has as much power as this does, but still the manual shifter as well. It's just that pure involvement, proper car, proper drive.
Yeah, you should add on another 600 or 700 horsepower and then feel it. It is exhilarating, to say the least.
It sounds good. Right?
Okay. That is incredible. Yes, that is a very, very good sounding factory exhaust.
We're back then with the GT500, not quite as dirty as the Camaro, but what was it like?
It was fantastic. I was super surprised at how the shifting was in this car compared to the other S550 platform cars with a manual transmission. They're lightning fast, and honestly, it feels a lot lighter than it looks.
We're back on the roads, but one of the disadvantages of doing a tour across the USA heading directly towards the west is that every afternoon we are facing directly towards the remarkably bright sun, making it very hard to see where we're going. Hindered as well by now having a pretty dirty car as well, but we're taking the exit here just shy of the border in towards Texas. This car has now done over 2,000 miles. In fact, on the clock we have 2,050 or so miles, but we've got a fair old trek ahead of us this evening to get in towards Texas, and not all that long now to the border. A quick fuel stop before the border. We're not yet in Texas, but this feels very, very Texas. The style of buildings around where we are. Unfortunate downside number 2 of road trip life, no premium fuel. This car needs 91 octane or higher. They only have 87. We have 20 something, 22 miles to empty. The only fuel station within 22 miles is the wrong direction, back into Louisiana, not that direction towards Texas. So we're about to waste probably 45 minutes going back into Louisiana to then have the 3 or 4 hour drive back that way to Texas and the border, obviously now in the dark. The frustrations of road trip life. Back past the first stop we go. At least we're on the road in the right direction. And here we have it. Welcome to Texas, the next state on our adventure. They say that everything is bigger in Texas, including this F-250's exhaust tailpipe. That thing is gigantic. The first stop today in Houston, an oil change service for the GT500. I booked it in last minute, have brought it now to a Ford dealership here where it's just had the oil change. Now that it's done 2,300 miles, which means officially the running in period is complete and it can now be driven a little bit harder, which is why we're going to go from here over towards Hennessey. A special thanks to the guys here at Sterling McCall Ford. Let's get this started. And hey, the other thing, we can now put it straight into track mode, which I've kind of avoided up to this point. You get lots of messages in here, so pop it up into My Mode Sport Track. There we go, maximum noise, you get the full track display. We can now do plenty of that, and also in here, by the way, we have Android Auto, like in the other Fords, which just makes road tripping life so much easier when you can bring up your destination. Oh, that sounds epic! All right, fun times ahead, let's go! Amusingly, that little rev there has set off the alarm on one of the other cars, but we're gonna head out and make a little bit more noise for this now. This is gonna be more fun now. The car comes to life. America is very much the land Corvettes everywhere. 650 HP. I like that plate. That's cool. We've been stuck in a lot of traffic, but we're about to arrive at Hennessey, which means a little bit of open roads, although it's very much a building site around where we are now. We're just using some more of the revs in this car and experiencing how ballistically powerful it is. And we arrive back here. Everything is bigger and faster in Texas, the home of Hennessey. This is now the third time that I've been to visit, I think. They have their own drag strip and setup and little test track. Obviously the workshops, dynos, and all the other bits and pieces. We will go straight over to the main shop over that side, where everything is bigger and faster, including this, the Corvette ZR1 HPE 1000. This car has 1,000 horsepower, as much as a Bugatti Veyron, or nearly as much as a McLaren Speedtail, more than a LaFerrari or a 918 Spider in a Corvette. Was a cool little experience. The keys are inside, hence the horn chiming just there. Totally crazy, but you know, this is where we are. Check out the absolute ridiculousness of this Buc-ee's petrol station, gas station. It is huge. The number of pumps there is absurd. It is another morning. It is a cloudy morning. We're actually heading back to Hennessey because we kind of ran out of time yesterday and we got some big plans. So we're heading there with this car now with some more miles to go and have a lot of fun. That sounded epic. That's a factory exhaust. That is a big part of why I bought this car. It just sounds incredible. But come and have a look then at the numbers and the chart here. This is impressive. Max power, 697.94 horsepower, so 698, just shy of 700. Now factoring in some drivetrain losses, if you had about 15%, that would mean you'd expect this to make about 680. To be 18 horsepower over that means we're talking a car with somewhere in the region of 780 horsepower, just shy of 800. It is time to roll out. We're departing then from Hennessey. A great visit, a lot of fun, and a lot of misbehavior with this car as well. But it's now time to hit the roads up towards Dallas, about 4 hours or so from here. Long old trek, late night again. Seems to be the way when you're on a road trip. But hey, all fun and games. Will you join me today at the famous Gas Monkey Garage here in Dallas, Texas? Come on in then, here at the Gas Monkey Garage with the guys. How's it going?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Do I call you Shmee or 150 or 10 or
whatever you like, whatever you like.
I don't know, man. COVID high five.
See you.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How you doing?
I figured that since you're from across the pond, I'd bring my buddy Chris here to help translate y'all's English.
I'll fill in the blanks. Don't worry, I got you.
Okay, thank you. Might need it.
Do you want a beer?
No, I'm good, but thank you.
Work. Do I like show you all my goods and toys and tell you all my secrets and that's it? Or
yeah, I think so. We should go.
You know what? From a translation point of view, you should really start with a Rolls Royce.
oh well,
Again,
well, thanks for coming out to Gas Monkey. You know, obviously. We never do the same car twice. So over here is what we call a monkey trap. It was designed to be kind of my playland. It was going to be my Gas Monkey man cave. And business took over, and I haven't been able to commandeer the space. We have people working in here. For a while, Gas Monkey Energy Drink was officing in here, etc. and so forth. But this is where I keep my toys.
This is very, very cool. Ultimate man cave. But today, to bring the GT500 here to visit in Dallas, Texas, this is really really quite cool and also quite surreal for me. Very excited to be here and to have spent some time with Richard and Chris and the team. Yeah. Really, really awesome. We have a big journey ahead of us today, going from Dallas, Texas, up through Oklahoma into Kansas with a few stops along the way. But the morning started pretty stressfully because we couldn't get out of our hotel garage. The plate wasn't in the system and the people on the phone couldn't help us. So it took about 20 minutes to even get onto the road. You know you're in the right place when there's a Turbo S convertible, a Dawn, and a G550 4x4 squared. So this is exactly where we're pulling in. Tactical Fleet. And we're going to be taking the Chiron and some of the others, including the Aventador 50th anniversary, for a drive from here to Lamborghini Dallas to collect the SVJ before we then have a convoy with all of the cars back over here to Tactical Fleet. Come on in then to the showroom. We will head through to the main hall in just a second, but already in here, some very nice cars. The McLaren 600 LT, behind that, a lovely Lexus LFA, next to it, the McLaren Senna, and check this view out. Ferraris, Rolls Royces, I can spot back there a Ford GT, an SLR, there is a cerulean blue 720S. For the moment then, we're going to leave the GT500 here, coming on through to join the guys because the Chiron is just around the corner. Sound of the Turbo S starting up, but I've got the key. They've invited me to drive the Bugatti Chiron. Oh wow, just honestly, just being sat at the wheel of the Bugatti Chiron is so unbelievably immense. Look at the view behind as well with the sea going back through to the engine bay. The wing up at the moment. Out onto the highway we go. The sound of those turbos. Work out where we're going to park up all of these cars and then in a moment go in and find the SVJ. Now that's a view here at Lamborghini Dallas. Look at this. Supercar Stevens SV Roadster has joined the fun with the Shrees, collecting the SVJ Roadster. Having driven here in the Bugatti Chiron, we are of course running again a little bit behind schedule, but on our way out of Dallas, heading north up through Oklahoma and Kansas, we're actually going to be stopping just north of the city to go and visit a friend, Steve's POV, who does a lot of stuff in Japanese and in fact introduced me to all of the crazy Lambo guys when I was out in Tokyo after the Gumball a couple of years ago. So it'll be good to catch up and see some of his stuff briefly before we continue. Hey Steve!
Shmee! Texas! Yokoso!
Good to see you, good to see you.
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Welcome to my garage.
Thank you. The last time we caught up was over in Tokyo.
In Tokyo, we had a great night on the Gumball Rally.
Oh yes, we
Best
did.
night
So
around.
it's cool to be here with probably the most unique cars in the USA.
I would say there is a bit of uniqueness to my collection for sure. Thank you. You want to check out my garage real quick?
Definitely. Let's have a quick
Come
look
on,
around.
man.
Here and in your other garage as well.
I have another garage too as well. Only a few here. I've got a lot of Japanese stuff, as you know. This is where we first met. But this is a sunny pickup truck, wide body. Doing some work on it right now, so it's not looking at its best. 240Z Datsuns in America are all the rave, of course. This is a wide body, also Japanese style. And my latest acquirement is now my favorite, my little baby K-Truck. My baby to go with all the big trucks in Texas. This little truck fits right in, man. Right in.
We're in the land of the biggest, widest, most tall, ridiculous trucks ever.
And this is the #1 popular vehicle of all of mine right now, my entire fleet. This little thing right here. It's because it's unique. Uniqueness is good. Hey, follow me into my new man cave. Still in the works.
This is cool.
Yeah, man. This is my new man cave. Something I dreamed about as a kid, always owning and having something like this to keep the cars in. Now, it became home for a lot of my cars. My collection would be a place for all my signs, all my vintage automobilia. And it's a place where right now, cars during COVID, Shmee, that me and my son built together while we were at home. This AE86 right here, the Fujiwara Tofu car. The RX-7, the FC. My Skyline over there, my 71, they're all unique, I think, to say the least.
Completely, and normally you'd have your Ferrari here as well, right?
My Ferrari would normally be parked over there. It's in Dallas in service right now, but yes, I have a pretty unique Ferrari as well, which I know you know about.
458 Liberty Walk, wide body.
With lots of lights all over it.
A whole lot.
Shmee style.
That's the
Mr.
guy.
Boroshi's.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this is cool. I mean, you've just been working through your time, Force being a home, right? On this from the ground up with your son.
This was a project, me and my son, when we were home. He was home from college during COVID. We said, what are we gonna do? He said, Dad, let's do something together. I said, okay, let's build a car. We went out, found a $700 shell in the middle of downtown LA, dragged it home, ripped it all apart, went through this thing, and we built a really nice father-son RX-7 FC Initial D style car here, man, which we love. And it means more than almost any other cars. Certainly more than a Ferrari, because we did it together, you know, dad and son style.
Definitely, really cool. Well, congrats. This is a nice setup. And I hope we're going to be able to catch up again in future when things are even more complete and up and running.
I'm so honored that you came by. You are welcome back anytime, Tim. I love you, man. I hope to see you again in town. And thanks for spending so much time in America, man.
Pleasure. See you
Thumbs
soon.
up.
Thank you. We're crossing the Red River into Oklahoma. The first time I've ever been to Oklahoma. The 8th state of the tour. We've got 2,999.8 miles. 0.9. And coming right up, we have 3,000 miles, like a whole gumball 3,000. Welcome to the Kansas Turnpike. We are now in Kansas. This is actually the sign that says we are in Kansas State. State number 9. We have basically gone all the way through Oklahoma, and the only thing we've done is stop for a Chick-fil-A and a fill up of fuel. And that's been more or less it. A very late night, but onwards towards our next stop in Wichita. You join me today on a famous driveway at a famous garage here with Tyler Hoovie's garage. Mr. Hoovie.
Hello.
How you doing?
It's Shmee.
It is. Good
Hello,
to
Shmee.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. The supercharger belt may squeak. Maybe. Don't do it.
Let's see how it sounds when you start it. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds all right. Oh, there we go. The supercharger squeak followed.
It'll just break loose. That's all it does. See?
It revs up fast.
No traction in this wet.
Where today, Tyler and I are going to be going for a drive with not one, but 2 of the V12 Lambos. I'm going to be taking the wheel of his Murcielago Roadster. Step 1, let's work out how to get the roof on.
You mean by we, you mean me.
Yes, exactly.
It's like when I say with the wizard, when he's working on my car, I say, well, we'll do it, but it's always
him. Just watch your head on the no hitting on the ramps again,
and
with them sitting low.
The mineral oil leak from the Bentley Azure there. It likes to piddle when the suspension sags.
They do that, I guess. So that is the roof.
And then the side parts of the toupee.
Yeah.
It really is like a bad hair piece.
You got to go and get some other pieces to go on it.
Yes.
I can't imagine if I had been making my videos when this car launched, how I would have tried to explain this process. How you doing there?
Hey, good.
Loving it.
Back to sunglasses.
Yeah. They work. And probably sticking out like a sore thumb where we're cruising through at the moment in Kansas with the 2 of these cars together. Back home in the UK, we have found the Shmuseum, but never have I taken more inspiration than from Brian's garage here, and some things I'd like to point out in particular, in addition, of course, to the amazing cars that we will go through with Brian as well. But if we come on through past the Ford GT to the second part of this collection, feast your eyes on this extraordinary lineup. How cool is this? The chill out lounge area upstairs, the view over the balcony down towards some of the cars, the pool table, the slot car tracks running around on the floor, and all of the different display cabinets filled with some incredible memorabilia, lots and lots of model cars. This is a very special private garage, and I'm looking forward to even having something 10% as special as how this is. We are setting off for a long slog today. It's a long journey, 531 miles, but we do have a time change, which thankfully means we get there an hour earlier than we would have done otherwise. But I didn't mention we have a little new passenger behind us. We've been joined by a gas monkey that we actually picked up thanks to Richard and Big Chris when we were at Gas Monkey Garage. I'm just gonna work out how exactly to exit from the confusion of the area where we are now, and then the long old road in towards Denver, Colorado. It's a lovely day and the sky is almost worthy of a Windows desktop background, but our next turn is not for another 419 miles. That's gonna be a long old stretch on the road. Look at the size of these tires. I don't even know what wheels those could possibly fit. Huge. Random fuel stop in the middle of nowhere, and there's a dinosaur. I think we're in basically oil land where we are. Very windy, surprisingly cold, despite being a blue sky, and we still have hours and hours to go. Entering Mountain Time Zone. That's one fun thing about the trip we're doing, is that we've crossed through, well in total it'll be 4 different time zones. We're still in Kansas, but we've just gone back an hour, which is slightly bizarre. We've got that afternoon sunshine thing going on again, but here, welcome to colorful Colorado, our 10th state on our big journey across the country. Afternoon sun in our faces, many thousands of miles, but onwards, all going well today. Check out the sunset, although we've got an elephant race in front of us, two very slow movers, but off in the distance we can see the mountains for the first time. Of course, Colorado, Denver area, lots of skiing, lots of snow. Not sure what's going to be ahead of us, but we're going in the right direction. That was a long old drive, but it's a beautiful day. We are again surrounded by snow, changing conditions very, very quickly. The mountains are over that way, where we're going to be heading eventually over towards Utah. But for the moment, let's get the car started up, parked, surrounded by some ice. Do the whole trick with the button. Sounds oh so good the colder it gets. Let's continue. Today though, swapping supercars for a super truck. The Ram TRX, the T-Rex with the engine from a Hellcat with over 700 horsepower. It's quite fun on snow because you can actually get the back to just kick around and slide ever so slightly. Then you bounce over some of this unusual terrain. And you have a small feeling of, well, almost invincibility, but you have to remember you are still in a car, and braking and gravity and momentum are still actually things. Interesting road to take through here, and we just bounce through it like it's absolutely nothing. Wow. Absolutely nothing. That's hilarious fun. I'm out here today with Kyle and Timon from Out of Spec Reviews.
Hey.
I apologise for making a complete mess of this.
You are totally fine. I think it looks better covered in mud.
Well, thank you very much for the drive in it. But you guys, I know of you guys from EVs.
Right, this is the most anti-EV vehicle, but we are into electric cars. Well, me more than Timon.
Yeah. So, this Model 3 has been across the country multiple times.
Yeah, probably 6 different runs across and many other places. There's almost, I think it's been to every state but Hawaii and Alaska.
Really?
Yeah, close to it. If maybe we've missed Washington, but pretty much every other state.
That makes my run in the GT500, where I've gone to 10 states, seem pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, this thing's been all over.
And you also have just set a record breaking your own record.
That's right. Timon and I and our friend Drew basically took a Porsche Taycan because we wanted to prove all the Tesla loving people wrong, that you need a Tesla on a road trip. And we said, well, look, we held the Model 3 Cannonball record, the Tesla electric vehicle record, and I said, you know, let's grab a Porsche. So we grabbed a Taycan 4S and shredded it across the country. And it was faster by, I can't remember, half hour, 45 minutes than a Tesla across the country.
How many hours from the garage to the beach?
Yeah, 44:25.
44 hours, 25 minutes.
Yep.
Nicely done, congratulations.
Yeah, it was an awesome drive for sure.
Cool to be here with you guys, making a complete filthy mess of the T-Rex and of your electric drive smart.
That thing is usually covered in mud. That is the best car on the planet.
Yeah, well today, these are like the polar opposite cars we've just had out, in terrain much more appropriate for this than for that.
That's very true.
Still spectacularly fun, so thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for coming. Appreciate having you.
Today to meet up with the man with the most trusted beard in automotive news, Mr. Life of Palos. We're actually going to be going out for a drive. I'm going to be taking the GT500 and also his straight-piped Ferrari FF as we go up to Pikes Peak to the summit at about 14,000 feet, 4,300 meters, a very significant automotive venue, and having had that car at Daytona Beach not all that long ago, pretty cool to now take it up towards the clouds, the famous race to the clouds at Pikes Peak. Aaron, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you, man?
Very good, great to actually meet you for the first time. We have spoken about so many things in the past, different things that have been in your videos, but I'm now here with you, with your cars, going out for a drive.
Colorado, man.
Thank you ever so much, thank you, thank you. Pikes Peak, America's mountain. Honestly, take a look over to the side. This is just magical. As views go, they don't really get better than that. StradMan would call them views on views, and he would not be wrong, because this is out of this world. And we're literally, this little, I think, loop that they have up top, marking the very summit of the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. Well, we made it, and as you'd probably expect, it is freezing cold up here. We're looking down about 7,000 feet into the valley over in that direction. The views are just out of this world. Totally extraordinary. Looking down the snow-capped peaks over in that direction, the lower lands of Colorado that way. Oh, just short of breath because we are at quite an altitude. First thing we got to do back here then is get the whole studio set up and running. This is quite fun for me as well, to be where all of your stuff is filmed.
It's a little
Having
weird,
watched so many videos. It is a little bit weird. I mean, I'm sure it's the same with people who come and visit kind of my garage where my stuff is all videoed. But your neon signs, your Mortal Kombat machine, your P1 graphic design, your original AMG GTS that you had as well.
It looks a little bit different for sure. I think a lot of people think it looks a lot bigger on film, but it's kind of a tiny little corner.
Yeah, but this is the setup. Your 100K plaque.
Yeah.
Maybe one day to be joined by 1 million plaque.
I hope so. Someday.
You never know.
Keep grinding out videos.
I'm sure you will if you keep going. A massive roll at the moment.
Yeah, gosh.
Absolutely.
Maybe not compared to your run.
Today is the longest drive of our entire trip. We're heading all the way from Colorado Springs through the most spectacular scenery to head over towards Utah and Salt Lake City. It's going to be about 9 or 10 hours on the road, and in fact, we just had that extended by an hour thanks to a massive traffic jam. There is another massive traffic jam for people now going in the other direction, but this basically takes us on the I-70 through the Vail Valley, past loads of ski resorts. I'm a big skier, so we go past Copper, Breckenridge, Beaver Creek, loads of big resorts as we come through here. And just look at the views. Look at the mountains up in front of us, the trees on the sides, completely different scenery again to what we've seen earlier in the trip, changing constantly as we make our way through. So we've got a long old way to go. We're, I guess, a quarter of the distance into the day, and a lot of nice views as we make our way to the king of the views on views, Mr. Stradman. Check that out. Private plane landing in the middle of the valley. That's cool. Probably coming on a ski holiday as we're just continuing our cruise through the mountains as we go through the gully here, I guess, between the rocks, the snow up top. What an amazing place. Extraordinary. This just goes on and on, as does that freight train alongside us, the rail tracks on the other side of the valley. And the way these things tend to be done out here, you have a couple of locomotives pulling the most ridiculously long freight trains from place to place. It's funny because the US is not so much about passenger transport on trains. Everyone drives everywhere. But this is turning out to be a really beautiful day. Oh, look at that. No name. The exit literally has no name. Half a mile. I love that there's a guy in the car up there. And we're going into a tunnel. So that means they're going to get all the noise. We're leaving colourful Colorado because in front of us is the beautiful landscape of Utah. In fact, there is the Utah sign. We've done a good job, I think, actually of seeing all of the different state signs on our way through. But welcome to Utah, the 11th state of this trip. And what an amazing view that is. We have a kind of funny but kind of not situation at the moment. For the last half an hour, we have been stressing out a bit. When we crossed over the border into Utah, the car had 34 miles of range empty. So we searched for where the next gas station was, 42 miles. It doesn't take a genius to work out that that's not ideal. Now, of course, you can go a little bit beyond 0. It's not good for the car, but we are now cruising in towards the afternoon sunshine. We're going at 65 miles an hour on an 80 mile an hour road, taking it super, super easy. We now have 8 miles to empty on there, but thanks to taking it easily, we now have 7.7 miles to the gas station. So that seems to add up just. Fingers crossed, we're going to be able to make this, taking it super easy. No AC. AC is turned off as well to get a fill up. Half a mile. We're nearly there at the exit. Well, half a mile to the exit. We've got 2 miles to empty on the car's computer at the moment, but this is where we have a gas stop, and never have we been more relieved that we've actually made it, because this would be quite the middle of nowhere to be stranded. We've been overtaken by everything. All of the 18-wheelers, the whole lot, cruising on by as we take it super steady. Also with 299 miles on the clock of the car, which is impressive. It's better be up here somewhere. Yes, I can see the sign. I can see it. We're good. Even from here, we'd be able to coast down. It's downhill, thank goodness. Well, this is a fantastic relief. Well, we've made it in. We're going to be able to fill up very quickly inside here to show you this, because this is an achievement in its own right, to be honest. Wait for the dials to just turn on very quickly. We have done 1 mile to empty, as you saw, 299.8 miles. out of the GT500. That is a record for us by about 50 miles versus anything we've done before, because we filled up earlier much higher on the passes, and then it's been a downhill cruise pretty much the whole way into Utah, where I can now go get a full tank and be very relieved about it. Now then that we have a full tank of fuel, we can hold some gears and make a little bit of noise again. Let's pop it back into manual, head back out onto the freeway, and then make some noise. Entertaining, right. It's a bit of a cruise now. I think we've got about 3 hours still to go to make it to Salt Lake City. How you doing?
What is up, Tim? Welcome to Utah.
Thank you, good to see you.
You made it in one piece. I'm inspired. How'd you do it?
We did indeed. I know Mustang reputations, but we're at 5,000 miles in. All is going well. But I think today is about some new things in your world. New cars, Bugatti.
Yep, lots of changes since you were here last year.
New warehouse.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's go take a look and we'll head over and check out, I guess, the collection.
Let's do it.
Wow, that sounds good. That is loud and powerful. Well, this is cool. How many miles have you done in it now?
So the car has 22,806, and I've done about 1,800 of those miles. I bought it in August, so what is that, 6 months or so?
About that.
That's not bad for a Veyron.
That's not bad at all. In fact, that's probably more than most people would drive in a Bugatti.
Right. Shall we? I think so.
I think so. Oh gosh. Here we are then.
Here we are. This is kind of a little bit of a mess. I apologize. Too many projects going in too many different directions.
Lots of different things happening. Your massive project.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I've never built a wide body car, and so being the dumb person that I am, I thought it'd be a good idea to start with an Aventador. Liberty Walk, wide body.
Because why not? Today, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We are here in the beautiful state of Utah. Incredible views all around us. The McLaren 12C up ahead is James, TheStradman, and behind us we also have Stefan in the Nissan GTR. But today we are heading out towards the dry lake bed with these cars to see what they can do. Look at the back of this. We do still have a license plate, just. This is gonna need such a clean later on. Well, we are fast approaching 5,000 miles on the clock of this car. Having started at about 300 miles on this trip, we're now 499.9 miles. Wait for it, wait for it. 5,000. It's gonna be a lot more than I started thinking this journey was going to be. We've got a good 1,000 more to go.
I gotta roll, bro. I gotta go fly.
You're leaving us today?
I'm starting flight school today. I'm flying the friendly skies, so it's Burlacker and you. I gotta go.
He's taking his Aventador to go fly a plane. I'm just saying, flex.
Well, you gotta sort of get in like the right frame of mind.
That is unnecessarily loud. Every time. Okay. 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 Woo! America! Oh! Okay. This was needed. Ew. Look at how filthy that is.
That's, you gotta get the wheels.
Yeah, okay, let's give the wheels a little bit of a Hey look, we can see carbon weave again. Not they were carbon.
I didn't even know that.
Off goes some of the lake bed.
Wow.
Only some of it.
Proof that you went 183 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's clean, but it's not clean. It definitely needs a full-on detail to get all of this out. I think we're gonna be finding sand all around this car for a long time to come. In fact, door shuts and everything everywhere. Obviously the inside needs a bit of a go as well. The wheels, a little bit more carbon fiber, but that'll do for now. At least we have a visible license plate at the rear. That wheel looks so messy. Oops. All I can say, oops. The scenery today is going to be changing a lot, from the snow-capped mountains here in Utah to Las Vegas later on. But the funny thing is, we have 392 miles till our next turning, on a journey that's only 393 miles till we get to where we're going. It is basically this road the entire way. The scenery around here certainly does not disappoint. The Zion National Park, the mountains that are all around us, the skies with the sunset. Still a few more hours to go to Las Vegas, but this is an incredible place. Look over there towards the left. Incredible. And this sign here is Arizona, our 12th state, heading out of Utah, only for a short crossing though before we enter Nevada. Welcome to Nevada. And immediately in Nevada, you have casinos, casinos, casinos absolutely everywhere. It's crazy how quickly that happens, but this is the land of gambling. We seem to have accidentally stumbled into a little bit of a fireworks show at the Valley of Fire, half an hour or so before Las Vegas. As we go over the crest of the hill, we have Las Vegas. I can just about make out the hotels along the strip, about 20 miles away, down there. Not far to go. Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, as we arrive towards the strip with all of the famous hotels. What an unbelievable journey so far, but here we are in Sin City. But today I'm here at Vegas Auto Gallery to check this out, a car that is particularly intriguing, the Acura NSX, or over in Europe, the Honda NSX. For the drive, we've come up on a beautiful day to Red Rock Canyon, so we're going to be heading up this way in a moment towards, well, some fairly nice roads with this car, because around this corner, look at what we've got here, a Pagani Huayra Roadster sitting next to a Bugatti Chiron, next to a Porsche 918 Spider. Look at all of those. It wouldn't be Las Vegas without a visit here to Royalty Exotic Cars to come say hello to Houston and the crew, and I can spot an Aventador SV chilling outside at the moment. I filmed a number of things with the guys before, including an interesting run to the airport, but let's see what's going on today. So the guys are very kindly going to take this for a proper clean down to get rid of the last of the grime in the detailing workshop that they have here, because it is so unbelievably filthy. But also a fun fact, as the McLaren GT here, oh sorry, very windy, that heads out. This is actually Steve Aoki's SV Roadster fitted with the new Rift exhaust, the highest pitched exhaust, and well, potentially going to have some fun with that. Have a look at it in a little bit, but cool to know that Steve Aoki's, he's pretty well known. Well, that's pretty strange watching my car heading off. In the sunshine it looks alright, but up close it really didn't. My car is back and looking significantly better than it did before. That's what I had been missing. Okay, this is way better. It was a complete and utter mess from the dry lake bed, and thankfully, well, a huge thanks to the guys, it is now looking much better. Shout out Royalty Exotic Cars. So, we are going to continue this journey then towards California, the 14th state, and technically the end, you could say, of the coast to coast adventure, but not the end of the Where's Shmee US Edition tour, because we are going to be coming in a couple of days back to Vegas for one important reason. I cannot be here and not go to Shelby American, who are obviously responsible for this very car. So we're going to be coming back to an event that's happening here, with a lot of other things happening between now and then before we're going to go back to Florida, and that is kind of the end of this trip, we could say. It feels like it's still a long time away, even though we are now going to be getting to the West Coast, which is crazy. So we've got about, what, 3.5, 4 hours from Vegas to Los Angeles, as we say farewell to this crazy, crazy city. Well, this is the entry to our final state of the tour. Welcome to California, state number 14. We've crossed the borderline. We've still got a few hours to go, but 14 states. It's going to have been about a 5,500 mile journey from one side of the US to the other. It's just crazy that we're not all that far away now. And that is the first sign of light of Los Angeles. Miami to LA, what a journey it's been. And there we have it. We've made it. The Pacific Ocean, the end of our journey, the adventure across the United States of America, coast to coast, across 14 states in total, about 5,500 miles of driving, and a very busy few weeks since we departed with the GT500 from Ocean Drive in Miami, besides the Atlantic, to arriving here now at the Newport Coast in California. A beautiful afternoon, another extraordinary view, and what a journey it has been with the new Shmee-mobile. The GT500 was barely driven at all when this began. Since then, it has seen everything, from driving on the sand at Daytona Beach at sea level to driving to the summit of Pikes Peak at 14,000 feet. We've done drag races with Hennessey, we've had it to the top speed at 183 miles an hour on the dry lake bed in Utah. Along the way, we've been to cities like Atlanta, Denver, Las Vegas. We've met up with content creators along the way, from VinWiki to Gas Monkey to Hoovie's Garage to StradMan and Burlacker, and so much more. Some amazing driving experiences, the 6 Carrera GTs with Merritt Partners in Georgia, to driving in the Bugatti Chiron with the Shrees to go and collect their SVJ. This car has not skipped a beat along the way. It's in immaculate shape. The paint protection film has held up perfectly. It is looking beautiful each time we've cleaned it, which has only been on 2 occasions. It's been very easy to complete, and I could not have found a better car on Auto Tempest for the purpose. Thankfully, the carbon fiber wheels have escaped unscathed. I'm aware they are very expensive should you damage one, but thankfully all is in perfect shape, and we'll have a full update with the car as well. It's been a brilliant car for the purpose, but the memories, the different weather conditions that we've been in, from dry to snow to warmth to getting sunburnt to back to snow and all sorts along the way. You cannot have a journey more action-packed. It has been the most epic of epic adventures. So many memories, something that I've always wanted to do with a Shmee-mobile, to purchase the car, to take it coast to coast across the USA. And you've seen a bit of the behind the scenes here, some of the odd and unusual things that have happened, almost running out of fuel on not 1 but 2 different occasions, both in Utah, as it happens. Slightly disturbing and worrying moments, but we've made it. We made it from coast to coast here with the GT500 to the Pacific on a journey I am never going to forget. So thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the journey, a bit behind the scenes, what it's been like driving across, some of the longer legs without too much going on, some of the more exciting and random things that have happened as well, some of the people we've met up with that didn't necessarily fully make it into the main video, Steve's POV, Kyle from Out of Spec Reviews, and so much more. This has been an incredible journey, but that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I appreciate your support an awful lot. For now, we'll have a bit of an update with the GT500 and plenty more out here in California, in Los Angeles, believe me. For now though, that's all. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.